So we have seen how we can move the ball in 8 different directions. If we have our ball or circle, if we want to move right or left, we just have to change the X value. Here we increase the X value, here we make it smaller. We can do the same for the Y value. And we can also move in diagonals. Then we increase both X and Y, or we decrease X and Y. And we can see it here running. There's much more combinations. I mean, infinite. They don't have to be equal. Now we make the ball go slowly down. And you can see it goes faster to the left than down. We could even go really slow down. Now it will go almost horizontally. If we don't add anything, this instruction really does nothing because it says y is y plus 0, which is the same value. Then now it goes to the left. Let's do a small experiment. These values here, they could also be variables. And this would be like how much to move on the X direction, or how much to move on the Y direction. Remember, you can name these variables anything you want, but I try to give a name that it's easy to understand. So up here we have 2 variables, and these variables are the initial position for our circle. And now I add 2 new variables. How much to move the circle on each frame. And the name, what did I write down there? Float move X is 2, or let's make it smaller, like 0.5. Float move Y is 0.5. And I run the program. So it's going slowly down and right. You can see the advantage of having the variables up here is that we can configure the program in a quite easy way. I don't have to go down and see how the program works or understand everything, but these are like some settings. Now I just make it move to the left, and I don't have to jump down to the program and study everything. So now to make this program really interesting, we can add some limits so it doesn't get out of the screen. How did we do that? Now we're gonna need 4 if cases. And why 4? Well, in our old program we checked if the ball crosses the right border, but now there's 4 borders that we could cross. So let's write here the first one. If circle X is greater than 400, 400 is the width of our screen. Or you can also write it in an easier way because processing knows what this means. This means the width of the display. This is a great idea because then if you change the size of the screen and you put type 300, you don't have to change that one. It will always work. So if the circle goes too far to the right, then circle X, let's make it go back to the left border. So we have there one condition, and we need the others. If circle Y is greater than height, this is another variable that's automatically set. So these variables we created, but these 2 variables processing created. You can search on the reference manual what they mean, but what they mean is exactly these 2 values here. So, and the 2 braces, and then circle Y would be 0. what is it doing now? Now when we touch the bottom border, then it should go up somewhere. Up there, okay. And it's moving a little bit slow. Let's make it here. Let's make 1. And we need 2 more conditions, because this means we are crossing the right border. But what if we leave the screen on the left border? Circle X. In that case, circle X is less than 0. That means we went too far to the left. In that case, I will make circle X equal to width. So I jump to the right border of the screen. Circle Y is less than 0. That means if our circle is going up and across the top border, then we send it to the bottom border. Circle Y is height. With these 4 conditions, now we keep, in any case, the circle inside our screen. So it touches the bottom border, and then to see it happening, we can add here some print calls, and that means if it's that's too far right. And here I print, this means too far bottom. Print too far top. And finally, print too far left. So these functions, these calls here don't make the program any better. This is just so we see some information down here when it happens. So see, it's too far bottom. No, it was too far. Oops. Now we are not having any line breaks, so it's hard to read. There is another function. If we add print ln, this should make a new line every time. So let's run this program. Now too far bottom. I think this is wrong. Too far top. It should say too far left. So if circle X, of course, this is not the top, this is left. The X variable relates to left and right motion. So if we cross the left border, then it should say too far left. And this is the Y variable is up and down. So this should be too far top. Now it should be correct. So now it's saying too far bottom. Now it should say too far left. Bottom again. And yeah, since it's not moving up, we don't see the other messages. All right, if we change these numbers here, we make it move to the right. This means we are adding to the X, and we are adding, no, we are subtracting to Y. You need to know some basic math for this, but because if you are here, you are adding, oh, sorry, scroll. You are adding a negative number in this case. Move Y is -1. So if you keep adding -1, what you do is you make the number smaller, so it moves up. So now we have the circle all the time inside our screen. And to finish with something to make it really nice, instead of making it loop like we have done until now, here what we are doing is when we touch the right border, we jump to the left border. But we could do something else. We could make it move again to the left. So we could say if it's greater than width, then stay there. Stay on the right border and move X is minus move X. What does this do? This changes the sign of the amount of pixels you move. If you were moving 1, then if you say move x is minus move x, now it's minus 1. So suddenly, when you touch the right border, it starts to move in the opposite direction. You will see the nice effect this has. And we have to repeat this for the other cases. So if we are going too far down, then we make that we are actually at the border, on the bottom border, and then we flip the direction, the vertical direction, motion. So it's minus move y. And same for the other cases. What here? Move x. Okay, if we were going to the left and we are less than 0, then let's make it 0. And move x is minus move x. You see it's exactly the same line up here than down here, because this instruction just flips the sign. You want to flip the sign no matter if you touch the right border. That means you were going to the right, then you want to go to the left. The same thing, if you were going to the left, then you start moving to the right. And here move y, and we didn't change this line here. If circle y is less than 0, then no, that cannot be, then make it 0. It cannot be less than 0. And then flip the direction, the vertical direction. And let's make it move faster. Let's use here 2 and 2. And now we have a bouncing ball. Don't worry if this program seems too complicated at the moment. I have been doing this kind of stuff for many years, so for me it seems very intuitive. But if you keep following the exercises, and I plan to do many more, doing small programs, so you will start to see the pattern. You will understand how it's really working, and then be able to come up with your own ideas and create your cool animations.